Okay, so it looks like we're all set up over here. Welcome to anybody joining our live stream, and of course to anybody who's trickling in a little bit at a time. We're going to get started in a few minutes here. This is our community event, so thank you all to joining who you are. So we are going to get started in just a minute or two, so let's just give some time for everybody to come on in. Okay, welcome Jessica. Hi, Amy. Hi, Mary. Welcome. All right, so we'll give it another minute or two and then we'll get started. So welcome to the people who have joined me, all of our attendees. Hello, everyone. My name is Charlotte. It's so nice to see you all here. We're going to have a nice relaxed class today. We're just going to learn a little thing or two, and it's going to be a really wonderful time. Hello, welcome. I see you, Kelly. How's it going? And to anybody who's streaming on LinkedIn, welcome to you as well. We are going to get started in maybe like a minute or so. We'll just kind of get going and have a nice, relaxed, easy little craft class. So we'll be learning something together in just a moment or two. Hi, Giselle. Hi, Claire. Welcome. All right, so why don't we get started here? We're just going to kind of jump on into our lovely little presentation just to begin. So just to reiterate, in case you haven't already heard, my name is Charlotte. I'm so happy to be here with all of you. I am, of course, from Foodcraft, and I'm going to be our host today for our community event. So what's going to happen is I'm going to guide us through a little bit of a presentation just to kind of give you guys some expectations for what's going to happen today. And then I will go off camera and throw it over to our fabulous instructor who will guide us through our furoshiki craft. So to begin, if you are following along with us at home, we just ask that you guys have a nice clear counter space and that you do provide your own scissors for the experience. Those would not be in your Foodcraft kit. And you're also going to need to have some type of a medium-sized book or something of a similar shape, and a bottle. A large bottle would be great. So a wine bottle is really perfect for this. And those are our items that we're going to wrap using our furoshiki techniques. So let's move through our slides now. We're going to talk about our experience here. So these are the 3 different ways that we're going to learn to wrap. So the first one is going to be a very basic wrap. So we'll start off easy. Then we'll go to our 4-way wrap. That's where that book will come in as well. So we will be wrapping the book on those first 2. And then finally, we'll learn the bottle wrap. So both of these are very easy ways to do this. And of course, that very basic wrap is going to be the easiest of all. So this will be really simple, and we're going to get started here. So I am just going to toss it over to our fabulous instructor. And so we're just going to have a really lovely community event here. So I'm going to start by just taking down my slides, and I'm going to pass it off to the wonderful Deanna.
Great. Hello, everyone. Thank you so much, Charlotte, for a wonderful introduction. My name is Deanna, and I'm very excited to be bringing you our furoshiki for today. So I'm going to turn on 2 cameras here today. All right. So I have both my camera facing me as well as a nice little bird's eye view. So I just want to make sure that we're all able to see that. My sound will be coming out of the camera that has my face, but it'll be nice to sort of have 2 different angles and views for what we're going to be doing today. Again, my name is Deanna, and I am so excited to be able to bring this to you. If you've never heard of Furoshiki, I can't believe that today is going to be the day that we change your life, because Furoshiki is something that's really awesome. It's pretty cool for sort of any time, but especially now as we're getting into the holiday season. So, Furoshiki is the traditional Japanese technique of wrapping. Furoshiki is actually the word for the cloth, right? That is used for wrapping. It has this really wonderful, long, rich history in Japan. Dates back to the 18th century. It's initially used only as a way for nobility to wrap up their valuables and their elaborate clothing for safekeeping, right? So it starts off just for nobility, but it sort of gains more popularity as we go through time. So in the 14th century, it is this way to wrap up clothing when you're at public bathhouses. So at that time, public bathhouses are becoming popular in Japan, and as a way to keep your clothes separate from other people's clothes, you would lay out your furoshiki fabric on the floor and undress onto it and then wrap it up. And then over time, its use expanded to wrap up goods for merchants and travelers. And today, furoshiki continues to be used for such a variety of different purposes, such as wrapping bento lunch boxes, if anyone is familiar, or carrying your belongings in general, and of course, gift wrapping. So it's this wonderful, sustainable alternative to single-use wrapping. And as many of us probably know, having wrapped up gifts, there's a lot of waste, right, when it comes to gift giving. And that's why furoshiki is so wonderful. But it also embodies the Japanese value of thoughtful and respectful gift giving. So it's really something very special. I'm very excited to be able to bring it to you. So again, hello everyone. If you just popped in, my name is Deanna, and we are going to be learning 3 different techniques for furoshiki today. So if you received a kit, you will have received 3 different types of cloths. One is going to be pretty large. It's going to be 36 by 36 inches. And you also will have received 2 smaller fabrics, which is 21 by 21 inches, and a box of chocolates, right? Now, if you do not receive a kit but you want to follow along with us, you can do so right now. Basically, all you need is some type of square cloth, right? It doesn't have to be a specific material. Furoshiki comes in all different types of material: cotton or silk, polyester. So if you have something that's a nice, perfect square, you can totally utilize this, and you could all different sizes. I have honestly seen someone who was very desperate to learn how to do it with me in person use a napkin because that's all we had. So if you've got something, we can make it work. And if you just want to follow along and watch right now, we also are going to be placing this onto YouTube. So you'll be able to the next day watch along with this video as well. So you could use it for all of your gift giving needs this holiday season. All right, so I am super excited to hop into this. So we are going to be wrapping up with the traditional technique first. So you can use any size cloth you would like for either of these techniques that we're going to be doing. It just depends on the size of the item that you have inside of that you want to put inside of it. So kind of a good rule of thumb is it should fit into about a third of the cloth. So that's kind of a good way to see, what size can be used for which cloth. Right? So for your bigger 36 by 36 inch, if you received a kit, you could wrap up your food craft box in that. So the little kit that you received, that'll be perfect size for that, or a large book. All right, everyone. So again, I have 2 cameras set up. I have my little bird's eye view, and I also have the one that's facing me so we can get a really nice view, different angles as I wrap. So the very first step is we want to place whichever furoshiki fabric that we're using, whichever size we're using for this first traditional technique, flat in front of us. Okay, we have it flat in front of us. And then we'll take whatever it is we want to wrap up. So in this case, I'm going to wrap up a little gift box, right? Because I'm going to give a gift. So whatever you're wrapping, it could be a gift box, it could be a book. I'm going to take that and I'm going to place it in the center of my cloth. Now, while it's in the center, I want it to be sort of askew. I want the flat sides of my box to correlate to a corner, right? So the flat sides of my box each correlate to a corner. So it's sort of in the center and askew. Once you have it in the center, you just want to make sure that it's pretty evenly placed in the center. In order to do that, you can grab opposite corners and bring them to meet. If they match up, wonderful, you're perfect, you're nice and centered. If one is a little taller than the other, you can just kind of move your box, adjust it in the center until they meet, right? So you just want to make sure that we're kind of about in the center, approximate. Once you have tested out if you are in the center, we're going to grab our box and we're going to slide it all the way up so that it is in the top left-hand corner. The top left-hand corner. And you can see on my bird's eye camera right now that I didn't cover up the full corner. I'm able to fold the corner of my top left uh, corner cloth over the box, right? I'm able to fold it over the box. So everyone please fold that corner over the box. And then in doing so, I want you to grab the corner and grab the box and start to flip it. Start to flip it all the way until you get to the opposite corner. So we're flipping, flipping, flipping until we get to the opposite corner. And we want to flip it over so much that you will see a flap on top of the box now, right? So it was originally in our upper left-hand corner, and we flipped, rolling it until we got to the opposite corner, which would have been our bottom right. And I have a flap on the top. All right, so hopefully everyone is seeing something that sort of looks like this. It actually kind of looks like a little paper hat. Um, Pretty cute. All right. Now, I want you to feel where your box is. Feel where your box is and bunch up the fabric that's at the corners of your box on the sides, right? So I'm kind of bunching them up so that when I hold them, it sort of looks like a little candy now. And in doing so, I created what I'm going to refer to as ears, right? So I bunched them up on the sides and I've got these little ears. Next, I want to take those ears and I want to bring them to meet on top of my box. So I've got one ear in each hand. And what we're going to be doing with these is the basic knot that we do a lot in Furoshiki, and it is called the square knot. So it's pretty simple. We're going to be repeating the steps of the square knot a ton, so don't worry if you miss it right now. You will get the hang of it, I promise. So the first part of the square knot is taking those ears and crossing them to create an X, right? So you can see on my front camera, I've created an X. I'll also show you on my top camera, right? I just cross them. Now, in doing so, there's this space, right, that I've created below that X. I'm putting my hand through it. We want to make sure we see that space. Then I'm going to take one of the ears and I'm going to bring it down and through that space, and I'm going to pull, right? So that's the first part of a square knot. And the second part is very simple. It's just repeating the first part. So we're going to take the remaining ears, right? We're going to cross them again, creating an X, right? I've crossed them to create an X again. In doing so, I created a space that I'm putting my finger through. I am then going to take an ear, pull it down and under and through, and I'm going to pull, right? And I closed off the square knot and I sort of created this really cute little kind of bow on top of my package. Right? It's very adorable. Now you might have noticed that there is still a flap, right? On some part of your box, there might be a larger flap, a flap or a smaller flap, depending on the size of the package you were wrapping. Now, I like the flap, but if you wanted to kind of create a more neater line, you can absolutely take that flap and you can tuck it underneath itself and just kind of push it underneath the knot so that it is just kind of more nice, cleaner lines, and it's got just this cute little bow, right? Again, that flap is sort of in the traditional wrap, but if you wanted to hide it, you totally can. And it's very sweet. Now, you can make it even cuter if you'd like to add any decorations. So I just have this kind of holiday pick. You can kind of just shove it into the knot, right? There we go. Something like that. Uh, I also like to suggest that before you close up the knot fully, so if you wanted to open up the knot, place your pick inside and then wrap it and knot it around the pick just to really tighten it in. You could also do something similar with a like a gift tag. If you have a gift tag that has a little like ribbon, you could place that ribbon around one of the ears and then tie it so you can kind of secure a gift tag onto it. So there's lots of ways you can make it really pretty, right? But so this is our very first technique. All right, so we're going to move on to our second technique now. For the purposes of my demonstration, I will use the same size, but again, depending on what you want to wrap up, you could use smaller, you could use larger. All right, so just as with our first technique, we're going to lay our fabric down in front of us nice and flat. For this one, I'm going to wrap up a book. Books are wonderful gifts. All right. So I'm going to place my book in the center again of my cloth, of my fabric. And just like with the first technique, we sort of wanted a bit askew. So we want the sides of whatever we're wrapping up to correlate with the corner, right? Sides correlate with corner. Again, we want to double check that it is in the center. So we're going to take opposite corners and we're going to bring them to meet. You might be able to see one of my corners is a lot bigger than the other, so I'll just start to adjust, right? Just start to adjust until it's about, approximately in the center, right? So opposite corners to meet. All right. Next, we're actually going to leave this one in the center, and we're going to bring opposite corners to meet again. So I've grabbed my top left-hand corner and my bottom right. And I am going to just like with my first technique, create some ears. So I've just sort of bunched up my fabric, right, against my book that I'm wrapping up, and I've created ears. We're going to do our square knot again. So you will take those ears, you're going to cross them, creating an X with a space underneath. We will take an ear, bring it down and under and through and pull. Right? So it'll look something like this. So far, I've got two ears and then two sides that are just unwrapped right now. Then we'll close off that square knot. So again, we're going to take those two ears that we just started knotting. I've created a space when I cross them, just a small space I'm sticking my finger through. And I'll bring an ear down and under and through that space and I'll pull. All right, so right now we have one bow created, right? Sort of like the bow on our first technique. But we have these two sides, these two opposite sides that are just hanging out here. So what we want to do is repeat that first step. We want to create ears out of the other opposite sides. So we want to cross them. And we're doing this right on top of the first knot that we created. We're crossing the ears, making an X with a space underneath. We'll take an ear, pull it down under and through that space, and pull, right? So this is happening all on top of the first knot that we created, right? And now we'll close off that last square knot by crossing the ears and pulling one down, under and through and pulling. So you're going to get something that looks like this. So this is just kind of like this really nice, more elaborate bow. It's got four corners. It's really pretty, right? Oh, thank you, Charlotte. Isn't it so cute? I think it might be my favorite technique. If you're watching along, or even if you're following along with me, drop into the chat box so far which one you like best. Oh, Giselle, right? It's kind of like magic. And it's so simple, right? We're just nodding, but it's so pretty, right? It's so pretty how something so simple could be. Awesome. And you can make it even prettier, remember, right? We could add little decorations. So if you had flowers or even like a bell would look so cute, right? Oh no, Giselle. I bet it looks fabulous. I bet it looks fabulous. But keep wrapping. When I first learned about furoshiki a few years ago and I really got into it, I wrapped everything in my apartment. Everything was just wrapped up in little bows. Yeah, let's do this one more time. How about that? Especially because this one's so pretty. But you really will get addicted to it. Anything that can be wrapped up is going to be wrapped up. Yeah. Oh, I don't. I didn't see what Claire said, but I saw that you said 1 minute it's a cloth, and then next it's something. So it's true. It's true. Take a simple cloth and transform it into something wonderful. All right. All right. So let's do this one again, right? Let's practice this one. So we have our cloth in front of us. Right? So it's flat in front of us. We'll take whatever we're wrapping up and we'll place it in the center. So for me, I'm wrapping up this book. Remember, we want to make sure that it is definitely in the center. I'll open up the chat box. I want to see what everyone's saying in there. Yes, absolutely, Kelly. Such a fabulous, and I was going to say at the end, so I'm so glad you're already there. You can totally use scarves. So if you find a scarf at a yard sale, at a thrift store, and you maybe don't want to wear it, or maybe you think a friend would wear it, or maybe you're just like, this would be really nice just to wrap up a gift in, totally do it, grab it, and kind of just keep utilizing already made fabrics, right? And allow those to just continue to get passed on. It's so fabulous. All right, everyone. So I have what I'm going to be wrapping in the center. Again, we want to make sure that this is definitely approximately in the center, right? So we're going to check that out. We're going to bring opposite corners to meet. All right. All right. So we are bringing opposite corners to meet to double check. Once you find that it is in the center, you are going to bring opposite corners, right? You're going to create these ears, and we're going to make that into a square knot, right? So I brought opposite corners to meet on top of my book. I have them, they're my ears. I'm going to cross them. In doing so, I created an X, and I have this space that I can fit my hand through. All right, I'm going to bring one ear down, under and through, and I'm pulling. Okay, that's the first part of my square knot. Then, just like the first part, we're going to close it out with another knot. So we are going to cross those ears again. In doing so, again, I create this little X, a space for my finger to come through. So this is it in front, and let me show you it from the top. You can see across them. And I'm going to bring an ear down, under and through, and pull. Okay, if you missed it the first time, we're about to do it again to the last opposite corners, right, that are unwrapped right now. So bringing those opposite corners to meet on top of the knot that we just created. So right on top of the first knot we just made, we're bringing our ears. We're going to cross them, creating, right, that X with a space. And we'll bring an ear down, under, and through, and we'll pull. So this is what it looks like currently before I finish off that last knot. Then to finish it off, we cross them again, and bring an ear down, under, and through, right? And there we go. We have a lovely bow. So hopefully that one came out a little prettier, but I'm sure everything that you're creating is absolutely wonderful. Seriously, don't be so hard on yourself. And then again, if you wanted to add some extra adornments, you totally can. So I've got this pick here that I could add. Or like bells. Bells would be so sweet on this if you have, again, if anything is on a string, like just like a circular string, you could always, before you close out a knot, you could always add something stringed to wrap it around one of the ears and then close it off, right? So there's this cute little like bell hanging off. All right. So let me know in the chat box how that one went. Whoever is following along with me, I'd love to know. But that one is very pretty. And oh yeah, silkier fabric's definitely more difficult. I can understand that than fabric. I mean, they're so like, sometimes they're a lot thinner, or they're just very like slidey, right? They're too silky, so maybe they don't want to hold the knot as well. All right, but keep practicing, keep trying. I've had people, so I've done classes like this before for other people, and I had someone because someone was asking me how large we can go, right? And I was like, if you have a square of some fabric, it you can kind of feel, I feel like you can go as big as you can imagine. So I think someone wanted to wrap up a TV that they were going to be giving as a gift. So I'm really big box, and they were going to try out doing a tablecloth. I wish I knew how it went, but I always like to think about that. So try whatever. If you've got something big on the mind, or if you have something smaller that you're giving, go as small as possible. See how little you can go. It's just really fun to just wrap things. All right, but we do have one more that we're going to be wrapping, and this is going to be a bottle technique, right? So especially around the holidays, it's nice to give bottles, right? Uh, Lots of times we give wine or different liquors or alcohols, or maybe not an alcohol. Maybe you are giving a water bottle. That's another great sustainable gift, a reusable water bottle. You might be giving that. Or maybe you have a big hot sauce fan in your life and you're going to give a big bottle of some delicious hot sauce, which I use as an example because I am utilizing um, an old Frank's Red Hot container. I just save every jar and glass that I have. So I've got a few of these wrapped, waiting to be wrapped up. So you could utilize this for anything. So if you have a larger bottle, of course, use your larger fabric. If you have something about this size, this is like a Costco size Frank's Red Hot. And I am using sort of my medium wrap. All right, so grab a bottle. And of course, we're going to be laying it out flat in front of us, our cloth, and placing our bottle in the center. So whatever you are wrapping today. All right. Once your bottle is in the center, just like with our other ones, we want to make sure it definitely is about in the center. So we'll bring opposite corners to meet. All right, mine looks about right. Okay. Then we're going to grab opposite corners again. So I'm grabbing my top left and my bottom right. And I'm going to bring it to meet on top of the cap of the bottle, right? So on top of the cap of the bottle. And I'm going to create little tiny ears, basically. They're very small, right? Yours might be very big. For me, mine are very small, just because of the size of the fabric and the bottle I'm using. But either way, you're going to have little ears on top. We are going to cross those ears again, right? We're making a square knot. Cross those ears, creating an X on top of your bottle with a little space. And then we're going to bring an ear down, under, and through and pull. So right now we are creating a square knot on top of the cap of the bottle that you're using. So I just did the first part of the knot, and then I'll do the second part where I'll cross those ears again. Again, putting my finger through to make sure I have that space, and then pulling an ear down, under, and through. So for me, I've got this cute little bow now on top. And this is what it looks like so far. So it's got this little, my knot on top, almost like a little bow. And then I have these arms, right? That kind of looks like a bat or something, ready to fly away. So I know we're talking about ears and arms. These I will refer to as arms. And the only reason I'm going to do that is because we are going to be hugging our bottle. So I'm going to lay my bottle down so you could see this hug. Basically, I will take those arms and I'm going to bring them to meet, and then they're just going to cross each other like they're hugging and embracing the bottle, right? So I'll show you that again. I've taken the arms. I'm going to bring them up to meet, but then I'm going to allow them to pass each other so that they could wrap nice and cozy around my bottle. And the ends of the arms should meet right on the other side. So I've wrapped it around, so it's around this front part, right? Now the other side are the ends of those arms. And of course, you might be able to guess what we're going to do with them, and that is to create a square knot. So we're going to cross them. So I'll flip it over so you could see above we're crossing them, creating that space where we'll bring it ear down, under, and through and pull. And then we will cross them again to finish off the square knot, bringing one ear down, under, and through. So again, because of the size I use, I have these just some sweet little tiny knots and bows. Yeah, this one's so lovely. It's such a wonderful way to wrap up, to make, like, just like a bottle even, I mean, it's nice to get a bottle of wine, right? But to make it even sweeter. And then I'm going to just kind of put this pick in it because I really like this pick. How cute. Oh, little floppy. There we go, right? And it's really lovely. So it creates makes anything sort of a little fancier. Okay. All right. So I am going to actually show you one more time our first technique, just in case anyone missed it, because we got to see that second technique twice. So I want you to be able to see the first technique too, because it is one of my favorites. All right. So let me unravel this and drop into the chat box which one, now that you've seen all three, which you like best. I feel like the second one is going to be the winner, but we'll see. We'll see. All right. So if you want to see the first one again, we are going to lay, oh, we like all of them. How sweet. That's so good to hear. I know. They're hard. The second one is hard to compete with, but I do also like all of them too, Giselle. All right, so I'm placing my fabric down flat in front of me, right? So if you want to follow along with this one, maybe see how quickly you can do it, right? And I'm going to grab my box and I'm going to wrap up. I'm placing it in the center. Again, sort of askew, so we have long sides correlating with a corner. We want to make sure that it is definitely in the center. So we're bringing opposite corners to meet and making sure that they align. If one corner is longer than the other, just sort of adjust your box in the middle of your cloth to get about approximately center. Then we're going to take what we're wrapping, so in my case, my box, and I'm sliding it all the way up to the top left-hand corner of my fabric. But I'm not covering the corners. You can see in my bird's eye view, I have a flap here still. And this flap is pretty important. I want to take that flap, that corner, and bring it so that it is on top of my box. So I'm just folding it back. I'm going to hold it there. and grab my box because I want to start flipping it all the way into the opposite corner. So grabbing the box and the little flap that is on top of it, we're going to flip, flip, flip all the way to the opposite corner. And we're going to flip so much so that once you fully flip it, there should be a flap on top. So it's pretty important to see that flap on top. All right. And now we've got just this long strand of fabric with a flap on top and a box in the center. And I'm going to find the sides of my box with my hands. And once I find the sides of my box, I'm going to gather the fabric there, right? Gathering the fabric so it kind of looks like a little candy, like a little hard candy wrapped up, right? And I've created ears. I am going to take those ears, I am going to bring them to the top of my box, and I'm going to cross them, right? I've crossed them, so I made an X with a space in between. I am then going to take one of my ears, bring it down, under and through that space, and pull. All right. And then I'm going to close it off. So I'm going to cross those ears one more time. And I'm going to bring an ear down, under, and through, right? Creating a sweet little bow. And again, you might notice that there is either a little flap or a large flap, depending. If you like the flap, keep it there. If you'd like, you can totally tuck it underneath the knot to hide it. So cute. I love it. All right, everyone. Well, that is it for our techniques, right? So you learned 3 different types today. So you could wrap up any type of box or book. Um, you could wrap up a bottle. Now, you could also utilize this for anything else, but of course, we are gift giving, right? So that's definitely what we want to do this season. We want to utilize different fabrics, like we already talked about a little bit, using scarves, tablecloths, buying things from maybe thrift stores, right? Go to um, go to a garage sale. I am very big on garage sales and thrifting, so I would like this as sort of a challenge. If you wanted to utilize this and create a new tradition, maybe within your friend group or your family or just with yourself, wrap up someone's gift in this and then ask them to keep passing it on, right? And you can kind of keep seeing where does it end up, and I think that's really fun. Um, Also, if you have a scarf that's going to be a gift, maybe you could wrap something in that, right? So it's like a twofer, 2-in-1 gift. You have a scarf. I know it's like the wrapping, but you have a scarf and then something special inside. Although Gisella's keeping keeping their scarves because they're too pretty to give away, and I also understand that. Oh, you're keeping one of the scarves in the box. Oh, that's so wonderful. Oh, nice. A gift from us. Yeah. That's so great. It's really fun. I have such a large collection. It's across the room, but I have a box that's like popping out with stuff because I just like wrapping stuff up, but I also get too attached to them. I'm like, I know I need to wrap these up to give them away, but they're so sweet. Awesome. Well, everyone, thank you so much. If you think that you will be trying this holiday season, please drop it in the chat box. Let me know. Okay, but it's definitely something really special that you could share with your friends or family, and just try it out for yourself. So thank you so incredibly much. Now, again, if you were just following along today and watching, and you didn't get to try it yet, or you want to try it again later, and you're like, I'm not going to remember that, we will be having it up on YouTube. So within the next couple days, look out for that link. Yeah. Oh, thank you. Of course. Thank you, everyone. I really appreciate you attending. Thank you so incredibly much. I hope to see you again soon for another event. All right. Bye-bye, everyone. Have a wonderful holiday season. Sustainable holiday season.
Amazing! Ah, I love watching Deanna. I love this class. I think it's such a cool skill, and we are so happy to pass it along to all of you. And also, if anyone was wondering, I did get this scarf from a thrift store. So what we're gonna do now, we're just gonna close out with these last few minutes. I have a couple more things to tell you, and then we'll be good to go. So let's start by sharing my screen just one last time. All right. So here we have my little slides that I'm going to share with all of you. We have some last little things that we wanted to just touch upon before we close out. So we'll make this full screen. The first thing we want to say is thank you all so much, whether you were live streaming or you were here with us. We love to see you guys here at our crafter community event. So thank you all. Now we're going to tell you about some more free workshops that we have coming up. So we want you guys to mark your calendars so we can come hang out again. We do one free crafter community event every single month. And so in December, we're going to do a virtual goat meet and greet, which really, I mean, couldn't get any better than that. Now we're also going to do an energy cleansing class in January. And of course, another Furoshiki event in February in case you need to brush up on your skills. So we hope to see you guys there. Now, if you aren't able to make those dates, we do also post this onto YouTube. And so you never need to worry too much if you do miss it. Now, we would love to tell you about our fabulous holiday events. So not only do we have our crafter community events, we also have some holiday events coming up that we are very excited for. So there's a couple of things that we would love to just mention. So some ones that we are extremely excited about, they're new for this season. So we have a virgin coquito making class. It's perfect for this season. It's a little bit like eggnog, but with some Puerto Rican elements like coconut and things like that. We have ceramic face planters. We can make those lovely. We have a little snowman. You can make them super festive. Now we also have hummus making, but we have changed our recipe to represent some fall flavors. Definitely give it a try. It's very delicious. And finally, we have our piñata making class where you can make a little reindeer piñata. So it's a really, really great thing. We would love it if you guys kept us in mind for your holiday season. And now we're just going to touch upon our crafter community club, and that will be our last little moment here. So all you need to know about this is that this is a new subscription service that we are offering to better support our hybrid and our remote teams. So basically, you can find out more about this in an email that will follow the class if you are an attendee today. And if not, you can always check out our website for more information. But this is something that we are so excited about, and we can't wait to share with you all. So look out for that information either in your inbox or on our website. So thank you guys so much for being here today. We were so happy to see some engagement in the chat. We love to hang out with you guys, and I'm so glad that you all got to learn something new, especially right in time for our holiday season. So thank you guys all so much for being here, and have a wonderful, wonderful month. Bye, everybody. See you next time. Bye. See you in December. Bye. Bye, everybody. Bye-bye.